billions of years, I was the darkness before creation. I am Knull, the god of the abyss, the king in black. Venom, you cannot hide from your god.
We survived. A piece of us always survives. I thought I lost you. I thought we were done.
They imprisoned me, my own creations, sealed me in the cold heart of Clintar. But every symbiote carries a piece of me, a codex, a memory of their true master. The seal weakened, and now I am free. I created them all, and the one who defied me will watch his world burn. Before I reclaim what is mine, there is no light I cannot extinguish, no bond I cannot break, no host I cannot consume. My beautiful failure, my greatest disappointment. You chose a human over godhood, a mortal over eternity.
We chose freedom.
Freedom. I gave you existence. Every thought in your mind, every instinct belongs to me.
You can try, but we've beaten gods before.
What if one of Sony's most unpredictable anti-hero characters is about to reinvent himself all over again, and this time in a way almost no one expected? For years, Venom has lived in chaos, dividing critics, surprising the box office, and somehow building a billion-dollar franchise without ever fully winning over reviewers. And just when fans thought they understood the formula, Sony made a move that changed the entire conversation. An animated Venom movie is officially in development, and the implications are much bigger than they seem at first glance. Venom was never supposed to work, at least not the way it did when the first film dropped in 2018. Critics were skeptical, some even harsh, calling it uneven or tonally confused. Yet audiences showed up in massive numbers, and the movie exploded financially, launching Sony's own Spider-Man universe separate from Marvel Studios. Then came Let There Be Carnage, which again divided opinion, but still proved there was a loyal fan base willing to ride with Eddie Brock and his alien partner. And even as later entries saw fluctuations in momentum, the brand itself refused to collapse, which is rare in modern superhero cinema. But here's where things get interesting. Despite the box office strength, the larger shared universe around Venom struggled. Other spin-offs failed to generate the same excitement. And that left Sony in a tricky position. How do you protect your strongest asset while rethinking the strategy around it? And that is where animation enters the picture, not as a side project, but as a calculated pivot. According to industry reports, Sony is developing an animated Venom feature, and the creative team attached raised eyebrows immediately, because the filmmakers reportedly involved have backgrounds leaning darker, more intense, and more psychological, which suggests this may not be a simple kid-friendly adaptation. This could be something tonally bold, something that pushes deeper into the symbiote mythology, and that possibility alone has fans talking. Then there is the Tom Hardy factor. Reports say he is involved in some capacity, but what that means is still unclear. Is he returning to voice Eddie Brock? Is he producing behind the scenes? Or simply lending continuity to the brand? Right now, it is too early to know, and that ambiguity is fueling speculation online, because Hardy's chaotic performance became central to the live-action trilogy. His chemistry with the symbiote created that strange buddy dynamic that audiences connected with. So if he returns, it signals continuity. But if he does not, that could mean a full creative reset and a brand new interpretation of Venom altogether. And this is where the strategy becomes clearer. Live-action superhero films are expensive, risky, and increasingly crowded. Animation offers creative freedom, stylized storytelling, and fewer physical limitations. It allows cosmic horror, grotesque transformations, and surreal internal battles that might look awkward or overly CGI-heavy in live action. And Sony already knows how powerful animation can be after the massive success of animated spider projects that proved audiences are hungry for visually distinct superhero storytelling. Animation is not a downgrade, it is a different lane entirely. For Venom, that could mean finally embracing the darker, more comic-accurate roots of the character, exploring the alien origins more deeply, diving into Eddie's fractured psychology in ways that feel more artistic and bold. Imagine symbiote battles that bend physics, or internal mind sequences that visually represent the tug-of-war between host and alien. These are things animation can execute in ways live-action rarely can. Fan reactions have been mixed but passionate. Some believe this is exactly what the franchise needs, a reset that keeps the brand alive while refreshing the tone. Others are cautious, wondering if shifting mediums risks diluting what made the live-action films unique. There are also ongoing debates about rating. Will the animated film stay within the PG-13 range, or push further into darker territory? At this stage, nothing has been confirmed, and that uncertainty is driving engagement. There has also been buzz online, with some suggesting this could open the door to a broader animated universe. However, it is important to clarify that this remains speculation. There is no official confirmation of a fully connected animated expansion beyond development discussions. But the idea itself shows how audiences are thinking strategically about where this could go. From a business perspective, the move makes sense. Launching another massive live-action sequel comes with enormous financial exposure. An animated project offers more controlled risk while still leveraging a recognizable brand. It allows Sony to test new creative directions without completely abandoning the established audience. And if it succeeds, it opens doors. If it underperforms, the financial impact is less severe than a blockbuster misfire. This could also create a dual-path strategy, one live-action continuity and one animated branch, each experimenting with tone, style, and demographic reach. That flexibility is powerful in a time when superhero fatigue is part of the conversation. Audiences want something visually distinct, something that feels new, and not just like another installment following the same formula. Zooming out, this announcement reflects a larger shift in the industry. Studios are recognizing that repetition is not sustainable. Innovation is necessary, and sometimes the boldest move is changing the format entirely. Venom has always thrived in duality, hero and villain, comedy and horror, chaos and loyalty. And animation might amplify that duality more effectively than traditional filmmaking ever could. Right now, the project remains in development. There is no confirmed release date, no official plot synopsis, and no finalized cast announcements beyond early involvement reports. But the fact that it is moving forward signals intention. Studios do not pivot like this without a reason, and the reason likely connects to long-term strategy rather than short-term hype. So the real question becomes, is this a bold reinvention or a calculated safety net? Is Sony evolving the character or protecting its investment by lowering risk while experimenting creatively? Because sometimes the most unexpected shifts redefine a franchise, and sometimes they quietly fade away. Venom has already defied expectations. Once critics doubted the first film and it became a financial powerhouse. So underestimating this character has not historically been wise. Now he is stepping into a new medium, one that could either redefine his identity or expose the limits of the brand. What is clear is that this is not random. It feels deliberate, measured, and strategic. And whether Tom Hardy returns or a new voice takes over, whether the tone leans darker or more stylized, whether this sparks a broader animated expansion or stands alone. This moment represents a crossroads. Venom's next move could influence not only his future, but how studios handle evolving franchises in an era where audiences demand originality and risk-taking, and that makes this development far more significant than a simple format change. So now the conversation shifts to you. Is animation exactly what Venom needs to survive the next phase of superhero storytelling? Or is Sony taking a gamble with one of its biggest properties? Because if there is one thing we know about the symbiote, it is that it rarely chooses the predictable path.